All right, welcome to part 5 of the rise of political parties. Now we're going to take a quick look at foreign affairs. Now, it will be during Washington's administration that you're going to have the French Revolution. Remember, the French had helped us obtain independence with the Treaty of Paris of 1783. 6 years down the road, the people of France began to see that maybe they want a little bit of this of their own, right? You're going to have, by August of 1789, the establishment of a document that gives a list of rights to Frenchmen, the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen. Okay, this includes the rights to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of persecution, equal protection under the law, right to assemble, right to private property, a lot of the stuff that seems very familiar to us, right? Ultimately, what's going to result here, though, is a full-blown revolution in France. Now, since this is a U.S. history course, we're not going to go into great detail on this. We're going to very much broad brush this, but it'll give you a feel for what's been going on here during the time of the Washington administration, during these first formative years of the United States. Okay. In 1791, on September 3rd, the French will establish a written constitution. This will establish an assembly to govern the nation. King Louis XVI at this point is still the king of France. And under this constitution, he does have some authority. If he chose to exercise it, he would have the ability to do an absolute veto of any of this council's or this assembly's legislation. But he will waffle on whether or not he's going to support this new constitution. Unfortunately for him, he's got this little bird in his ear giving him some pretty bad advice. Her name was Marie Antoinette, his wife, right? Ultimately, though, what is going to happen is that this assembly that's created is in April of 1792 going to declare war on Austria and Prussia and send the entirety of France, the population of France, into full rebellion, right? So you're going to have what they'll call a war on all kings, a reign of terror that is going to follow, right? Louis XVI is not immune from this. First, he's under house arrest, but finally on January 21st, 1793, he's put on a new weight loss program, a weight loss program that involves a new piece of exercise equipment called the guillotine, right? There, he's going to lose 12 pounds from about here up, okay? Very effective. Marie Antoinette will also eventually, by the end of the year, be subjected to the same exercise program, if you will. Okay, you're going to have revolution in France, and you're going to have, of course, also tension between Britain and the United States. This is the kind of things the U.S. is going to have to deal with here under the Washington administration and the Adams administration that will follow. Now, when it comes to England, in an effort to kind of normalize relations and perhaps even get those British troops out of those western forts, remember they had stayed in there, you're going to have the negotiation and the settlement known as Jay's Treaty, right? This is designed to avoid war with England, a renewal of conflict between the United States and England, right? This also, of course, helps with Hamilton's economic policies. It gets the western forts unoccupied as well, right? You get the men out of those western forts, okay? So you would think there would be a lot of support for this treaty, but amongst opponents of Alexander Hamilton, or maybe I should say supporters of Thomas Jefferson, there's a lot of unrest over this, right? One of the issues is that this treaty recognizes neutral rights on the high sea. But neutral rights by the British definition of neutral rights, which means the impressment of American sailors, will continue. And that's going to cause a lot of tension. And eventually, this is going to be the final bit that causes a split and the formation, despite Washington's desire for this not to happen, the formation of political parties, with the center being two of his closest comrades, Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton.